You want to see my tree of life? Sure, come on. So this is, to me, the best way to represent how the universe is broken down, the different energies, the different patterns. And of course, the tree of life comes from the Kabbalah, and it is basically 10 numbers. And it might be easier to look up a regular tree of life to get the visual. I know it's confusing with all the decks, but I'll explain those. Each of these big pieces of paper is one of the numbers, though there might be more. Crowley whispered that perhaps some of them were purposely hidden, and there might be 2 more of these Sephira, I think, down here. But again, we're not quite sure. So what's happening here is each of these points of energy has its own 4 elements attached to it. So that's what you would see to the side here. Each has its own earth and water and air and fire. And the decks, by the way, that I use are, this is the Hermetic deck, which is supposed to be based on the original Golden Dawn deck, which is lost, as well as Crowley's original deck. And then I also have written down the best ideas from the New Orleans Voodoo deck, which is basically based on the Ifa. But I use that deck too much to hang it on the wall. And so each of those elements are attached to the numbers, but then there are lines connecting all of them as well. And so it helps you understand the energies that get you from this to this, for instance. And so how it works is, at the top you have Kether, number 1, the oneness, the thing that we're never really going to understand. Then you break down to 2, Chakma, the supreme male, and 3, Binah, the supreme female. But the male presents as female, and the female presents as male, which often happens at this high-level cosmology of explaining the universe, because at this level you are basically beyond genders. And so you often hear about a switch of the highest level energies or deities. And so then here in the middle is the false Sephira, Dath. And because here is the abyss. Above here we do not understand. As Paracelsus said, we must not struggle with God. You can play around with these ideas, but you're never going to understand the great dualities or the great trinities of the world. So it's important to learn as much as you can. But from there it gets into things that are more understandable. Here's 4, Chesed, which is the great white light, mercy and beneficial kind of energy. But then 5 is a much more disorganized, disorderly number, Gabora, strength. And then this is you, here in the middle. Number 6, Tippereth, the sun, beauty. You are right here, it's your own little center, and you're supposed to be connecting up to the oneness through the High Priestess card, number 2, and also allows you to connect down here to the foundation, number 9, Yesod, through the Art card or Temperance card, depending on your deck. So there's a little bit about it, and feel free to ask more.